Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. And today update is out and we're going to be taking a look at Venompool buffs. So the first fights are going to be Venompool pre-buff without synergy team, and then we're gonna give him a full synergy team. And after that we have updated the game and we're going to be checking out what this bad boy can do now after the buff and how significantly his damage has improved. Now this is about SIG 160 rank 3 5-star, so he's not highly ranked, but it will still work quite well to illustrate the point. Please note that I lost the combo here due to, being a total clumsy guy, but hey, at least I finished the dance, which is quite tricky to do pre-buff for whatever reason. Most of the time, Winter Soldier actually caught me, and I had to try this fight a handful of times because, it was tricky. Winter Soldier was being like super aggressive when Venompool was dancing, and well, we're gonna see how it is gonna happen after the buff. Either way, I'm not even gonna spend too much time in this old fight. We can see that it's not going quite my way at all. And well, long story short, level 2 that hits for 2000. And okay, you get decent bleeds, 650, but those buffs that we are gaining, they are quite pointless. And it really felt sad playing this character. It really did, because he generally doesn't do anything. It kind of felt like playing an empty carcass of a character that pretty much has no worthwhile abilities to speak of. And the damage reflects that. I'm not even going to do the entire fight because a recoil would have gotten me. So pre-buff fights, I'm actually demonstrating Venompool's damage on 50% of Winter Soldier, and then we're just going to multiply the hit count by 2 to compare them. Right, so we're going to start with the first one would be, well, again, we're closing in, so this is without any synergy teams. Honestly, it's quite depressing. I'm dropping a level 3 because Recoil's kind of about to finish me off. It's just so sad and pathetic. Okay, so here I'm dashing back on purpose, just to kind of like signal that this is going to be the end of the fight. I'm going to let him hit me, finish me off. 225. 225 hits to take down 50%. So 225 times 2 would be 450 hits. That's awful. Liquid Courage, double edge active. Opponent is not bleed immune. It's just awful. But we knew that. And that's not the point of today's video. However, we still need to go through Venompool being synergized now. The problem with Venompool is that he didn't have any synergies. He had like a synergy with Symbiote Supreme that increases the bleed duration by 20%, and synergy with Massacre that increase his buff and debuff duration by 25%. And that is the one synergy that's kind of unique to Venompool that I'm using. And other than that, basically I'm just using stat increase synergies with Falcon to basically give him more crit damage, more crit rate, more attack. And well, let's just rush forward to see how it's gonna be. It's still sad. It's still depressing. The numbers are still absolutely awful. This has been like one of the, it's just bad. It's just bad. Before buff, he was unplayable. Let's say he was unplayable. So here's again the 50% mark. So I'm gonna dash back to kind of like signal the difference there, and let him finish me off. So let him drop that level 1. I'm still not dead. Couple more hits at me. Sure, why not? So with a full synergy team, the fight is over now. So let's take a look at the hit count pre-buff with a full synergy team to enhance his damage the best I could. 178. So 178. So that would be 356 hits. So we did knock off nearly 100 hits from what it was before, but obviously full synergy team, 356 hits to do Winter Soldier is just awful. It really is absolutely awful. Now the game's updated, and now we have the brand new Venompool. And in the pre-fight screen, I figured that since he is going to have quite a lot of attack multipliers and modifiers, then I'm probably best off going with the crit rate increase. Because the one buff that I select here also gets 60% potency increase, and that means that the crit rate is going to be significantly higher than it otherwise would have been. Now, how he plays now, we can see that timer, it is going up by itself as well, or every time I take a blocked hit or hit the opponent or get hit, and basically I need to fill it up 5 times. And once I have filled it up 5 times, then I have gotten 5 different buffs that give me burst damage on hit, gives me attack increase, gives me crit rate increase, and a whole chunk of other things. And once the 5 buffs have been filled up there, then, well, I'm going to start gaining Furies. So he is a ramp-up character. It kind of reminds me a bit of Carnage, I suppose, where you do want to get all of those buffs sorted, and then you can start dealing quite a lot of damage. But even now, he was screening for like 10k on that level 2, which is nowhere near close to the final form and final damage. But basically, with hardly any ramp-up, that level 2 was already like 5 times or 3 times more powerful. I do need to drop a heavy attack as well, because heavy attack would re-roll the buff that I get, which is kind of like fine, but it will also give me another buff that will increase the duration or potency of my debuffs, and it lasts 5 seconds for each unique buff that I hold. So that is kind of like also a relatively important buff to have. If you can't throw heavy attacks, it's not a deal breaker, but if you can, it's just, you know, a little bit more nice extra damage there. So I'm actually going to push myself to a level 3 here by accident. I didn't notice, to be honest, but it's fine. We're going to test out level 3 as well. So we are amping up much quicker, and there is a significant difference in the damage output so far already, as we can notice. But as I mentioned before, he is a ramp-up character, and the longer the fight goes, the better my damage is. First of all, check out the bleed. It lasts significantly longer, and it's bleeding him down for like 1400. That's nothing. I think we're gonna get like 4000 bleed at some point as well, because you can see that I have started building up my fury buffs here. I have 4 fury buffs. Now what I want to do is I want to drop a level 2, and here I thought I'm gonna get hit in the face, and I dropped my level 1. Now I should not have done it. That level 1 was a bit of waste. Level 1 is good in any matchup where you need to nullify buffs, but that's it. Other than that, you want to go for level 2s, because you either can double your buffs, or you can gain a power gain buff and get back quicker to a special attack. So here I've finished the dance. I have 2 of each buff active. And now let's take a look at the nice numbers that Venompool is going to be able to do now with my special attacks. I'm going to go for another level 2. I have like 5 Furies, 6 Furies at this point. Wonderful. And let's just carry on. Let's go for a level 2. Let's see the damage there. 8k non-crit, but it's a nice bleed there for 1800. And keep in mind, this is a 5-star rank 3 champion that previously took 225 hits to do half of Winter Soldier health. Half. So now I'm gonna go for another level 2, 21k crit. That is it. And the finish is at 145 hits. 145 hits to do the entire thing. That's an improvement of 300 hits. Or basically his damage is tripled. Now I know that his damage was awful before, but it is quite literally tripled. And the longer the fight would have went, the bigger the difference would have been. So I think in the thumbnail I'm going to be putting triple damage or something like that. It is definitely respectable. 5-star rank 3, 145 hits. Quite solid. But how he does when he's synergized up, because now he has a bunch of cool synergies that let him start with a buff, let him basically amp up quicker, give him extra crit rating, and all sorts of cool stuff like that. So now I have synergized him up with his unique synergies, and we're also including the Massacre synergy from before. And yeah, so we can see that I started with a buff already, so I only need to fill that meter 4 times till I can start gaining even more and more Fury buffs. And that is, yeah, a difference. Even now, we're going to be significantly quicker in finishing this fight. Definitely will be. So, went from 450 hits to 145. With Synergy Team, before we needed 356 hits to finish it off. And let's see how many hits we're going to need now. So, the slowest part of the fight, I'd say, is pretty much finished now. So I have doubled up in most of my buffs. I'm still missing one, I think, that I'm about to form. Yeah, I was missing Malice. You know, fine. Because I'm only now going to start building up my Furies. And by the way, I just wanted to mention that Malice buff looks quite awesome. I like that Groot icon a lot. But we can see that I have power gain here. And I'm just going to drop my heavy attack to refresh that debuff potency buff. I'm going for another level 2. Perfect. Finish the dance. Doubled 5 of my buffs. And take a level 2 in the block. Get another Fury. We're starting to do more and more and more damage. I must say, this is also quite entertaining. It really is. You always enjoy seeing tons of big numbers. You enjoy seeing tons of buffs. So here I interrupted the dance on purpose, just so I get that power gain buff, so I can get quicker to another level 2, which I already have achieved. Now, I wanted to try here to do that intercept thing with Venompool, but I kind of messed up a bit, and power gain buff pushed me to 3 bars of power, which is kind of fair, because we dropped level 3 in every fight so far. But ideally, I would have wanted to drop that level 2 instead, but, you know, hey. Level 3 also is cool. Why not? It kind of like makes our meter spicy and all that other good stuff. So we can see that bleed is also that ticking for like 2300, I believe. So, you know, not bad, not bad. And we're doing a ton of extra damage thanks to that Spider-Gwen's buff that we are having. Hunter Spider mode, I believe. And I'm about to go for my level 2, finish dancing. But look at that bleed. That's it. He's dead. He's dead. 100 hits. 5-star, rank 3, 100 hits. So that is more than 3 times less than it was before. So yeah, I think in this thumbnail we're gonna look at triple damage. Triple damage on Venompool, which is, to be fair, again, quite easy to do because it was awful, awful, awful before. But right now it's legit, and there's obviously a lot more testing to be done with Venompool, and this video by no means is kind of indication of how good or bad the champion's going to be. We need to do a whole bunch more different fights and different scenarios, and then slowly but surely figure out exactly where Venompool belongs in the game. However, so far, from the initial couple of fights, he's good. Damage is good. His ramp up is fairly effortless, and he puts a smile on my face. Seems to be effective. Plenty of utility. So yeah, I do like him. I do like him a lot. Hope I can get 6-star in near future. Let me know what you guys think about Venompool after his buff. But now I must go and record the hood fights. See you guys. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about